Hello, and welcome to this edition of the CSIX podcast series. This is a multi-part series entitled Fifth Generation Cellular, conducted by CSIX MEs Dr. Carl Kucha and Dr. Paul Losowitz. This series will explore a broad range of aspects regarding 5G wireless networks. In this final episode, 5G-oriented national cyber strategies are discussed and future 5G devices are examined.
So let's take it up a notch and talk a little bit about some of the national things that are going on in 5G security. So the President of the United States just signed out a presidential directive called the National Strategy to Secure 5G. This just came out in March, hot off the press. This document requires all of the major agencies to be building their plans for how the agencies are going to work with 5G to keep 5G secure in the system. Now, what's important about that is that how we evaluate our systems will depend on a lot of these strategies on securing 5G. So this is a very rapidly evolving ecosystem that we're working on. But to give you an example, the National Security Council has been assigned the strategic execution of this presidential plan.
Right.
Each of the services are coming up with their methodologies and their thoughts on 5G security. Also gone out to all of the major agencies. DOE is working on an input to this. DHS, Department of Commerce are all working on making 5G secure. I wish I could have told you that every single one of these has already been cemented in stone, but we've got a lot of growing to do here very quickly in 5G. But it's happening correctly, and it's really tight the way that it's working right now. So hats off to the federal government. I think we're doing a great job. But this is building on a lot of other cybersecurity that has been out there for a while. And one of the things that we've been talking about and executing to are things like the Information and Communications Technology Services Supply Chain, which is an executive order. And
Right.
all of the NIST standards, the 800 series standards in cybersecurity, are also applicable to 5G. It's just that we needed a little boost to make sure that we got all of the new things in 5G that'll be covered well and securely.
Okay, so I'd like to revisit a comment we brought up earlier about the 3GPP being an international consortium. Touching on supply chain security, the development of the standards will be an international effort, and there are a lot of, I would say, regional interests that go into these standards implementations that would help support various countries' economic position with respect to 5G. Is that not correct?
Oh, geez, that's taking it lightly, Paul. But it is a huge game with very high stakes, trillions of dollars at stake, and the security of secure international information to boot on making not only the standards but the security standards play. And each one of these countries not only votes in its own best interest, but the countries form coalitions with other countries to try to increase their voting capability in the 5GPP standards committees. So the Department of State in the United States has its hands full dealing with the coalitions that are set up by foreign countries and their vendors trying to push their security standards and their patents through the system.
Yes.
So, but overall, I mean, we're not doing this with our eyes closed. We know what's going on. I think we made some really good decisions on what the United States should be buying and shouldn't be buying at this point in the game. And eventually, I think the standards are going to get tightened up quite a bit. And in the case that we don't, we'll just have to go back to that zero trust networking model that we were talking about earlier, knowing that certain equipment out there has got severe security vulnerabilities and the potential for information loss or network outages is higher on those systems.
Okay, that's important to note that we are currently involved in a national security struggle with respect to just development of the standards in the 3GPP.
Absolutely. And for those that are out there that are looking at what kinds of things that they have to do for evaluation of 5G systems in the future, not only do we have to worry about all of the frequency-oriented or physical things to the system, which are going to bring new challenges, especially when we're trying to look at um, frequencies that are hopping all over the place and dynamically shared, and huge amounts of data going through, and what we call aggregation of frequencies, or instead of one frequency being used or one block, you'll have frequencies all over the spectrum. They'll be used for the same communications path. But all of the cybersecurity, the physical issues, all of the network management, the network function virtualization, it's going to be a challenge for anybody trying to evaluate 5G systems to keep up with all of that. But I know we're trying. I know ATEC has been looking at this, and they're trying to plan to make sure they'll stay on top of it too. So we got a shot at making this, but there'll be some growing pains.
Okay, well, it will be an effort. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, do you have anything else to tell us, Carl?
Well, one of my big parting messages for anybody that's going to get into 5G, especially into either engineering new systems or for test and evaluation of 5G, is the fact that you've got to have a very deep understanding of 4G networks to move into the 5G space. And anybody that shows up that says they know everything about 5G, but they don't have expertise in 4G, I would be very skeptical of. Places like INL have been doing 4G since 4G began, and we've got a very well built out and deep expertise base in 4G. So as we move into 5G, we've got that expertise to know how the 5G systems are working and to make sure that we've got great connectivity and great expertise there. So that would be one of my big parting messages. The other thing is, every cell phone version that we've put out to this point has more or less been kind of gee, that's a neat pocket device. I'd like to have one of those. But man, 5G is going to be a huge acceleration in technology and integration of everything around us. So hold on to your hats, because this is going to be different when 5G comes on. So there's going to be a lot of great things that are going to happen, and it's going to be a blast to be living while the 5G revolution occurs.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Carl.
That's
and
it.
show us your INL slide for
That
parting
is
with.
our INL slide just up on the screen, and we are here. If anybody needs our help, if anybody wants evaluations, or they just need a little advice, always happy to take a phone call or two. And if there's anything else we can do, that we're happy to give anybody a hand.
All right. Well, to our CSIAC listeners out there, if you have questions or want more information from INL, you can send a request for technical information to CSIAC, and we will forward that to the good people up at Idaho National Laboratory. Carl, thank you very much for this time today. I appreciate it.
Paul, it's been my pleasure, and this has been a lot of fun. Looking forward to doing one of these again with you sometime.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
My pleasure.
On behalf of the CSIAC, we would like to thank you for viewing this podcast. We hope you found the content informative and useful. If you would like to provide feedback or comments, please visit our website at www.csiac.org, where you can also find additional content to review. Thank you.
Did you know that CSIAC offers free monthly webinars featuring experts in the areas of cybersecurity, software engineering, modeling and simulation, and knowledge management? come see leading industry professionals talk about industry practices and leading research. Make sure to visit www.csiac.org/webinars in order to subscribe to our mailing list and see when the next webinar series is available. There you can also watch previous webinar series to catch up. Visit www.csiac.org/webinars.